Some women are simply born rich, confident, and naturally magnetic to their desires. Let's be clear, this podcast is not for them. However, if you're a soul-driven, visionary, or entrepreneurial woman who's been on a mission to learn how to create a better future bursting to come out of you, welcome to my world. I'm Jo Warwick, and this is Rich, Sexy, and Free. I've dedicated most of my career to helping women get to their core power and unlock the missing pieces for their own unique success. You may already know me as the author of The Big Book of Love. With 30 years experience in psychology, embodiment, manifesting, and energetics, we will be exploring together and with guests all things mindset, self-expression, and richer flow of money and love in your life. The keys to becoming rich, sexy, and free. So if this excites you, don't forget to like and subscribe on your favorite platform so you can stay up to date with the podcast episode. Welcome to episode 3, and I'm so pleased that you are joining me. Today we are diving on into it only means what you make it. This is definitely a mindset thing that can get really in the way if you are trying to step into being rich, sexy, and free, but instead are finding yourself being pulled back towards making things mean way more than they need to. A really good example, I discovered my next door neighbor in the car park had hit my car and had not told me. I could have made it a big deal. Could have got really knotty. I could have got really angry. I could have thrown my toys out. Instead, thought about the solution. How can I move to the solution quickly? How can I check what I actually need to do first of all? So thankfully I have some tea cut, and so I looked to see if I could polish it off. I did actually manage to polish most of it off, and you can hardly see anything, and there's a tiny little dent. So the outcome from something that was absolutely covering a whole panel of my door in red paint and big scraping, the whole thing walked to nothing. Because I changed my mindset and because I took a different action, I could move to a solution quicker. Where do you sometimes react from drama or stressed out responses? Where do you do that in your own life? I know that I used to be more reactive about things, but part of the rich, sexy, and free process is that I have come to learn that the more that you embody yourself, the more that you take up space, the more that you allow your nervous system to calm, the more that you become the rich version of yourself, the less things impact you. Now, in the Big Book of Love, I do talk about pumping up your tire. If you're deflated, if you're driving around on a tire that has a lack of air in it, and you went over a bumpy road, you're going to feel every single bump in the road. But if you are actually inflating the tire, it's going to feel less of the bumps in the road. And when we think about ourselves, whether we are coming from a place of deflated or abundant, is the way that we're going to respond. Are we going to respond with a relaxed attitude to come into solution energy, or are we going to come from a place of panic and stress and limited and problem-focused mindset? I often say to my clients, it's like you're driving down the road and there is a boulder in the road. When we're in problem energy, limited mindset, we see the boulder in the road and we keep ramming into the boulder. We keep trying to figure out the problem. So we keep looking at the boulder, analyzing the boulder, judging the boulder, criticizing the boulder, getting angry at the boulder, instead of actually seeing how can we go around the boulder or over the boulder to get to the solution. And of course, the element of mindset, you don't actually physically have to drive around. You can place yourself the other side of the boulder. Now, this was a technique I learned when I was riding professionally, because you are always taught to look the other side of the jump. Do not look at the jump, you will land in the jump. And so I learned that I always had to look about where I was going instead of focusing on what is in front of me. And this is a skill that I know that I've taken to business consulting, business coaching, and it's a big part of Rich, Sexy, and Free. I was recently talking with a client. We were talking about surfing as a great analogy for being present in the now and having the mindset of being open to where you're going. You've got to look where you're going, because if you look down, you're going to fall in the water. You've got to look where you're going, exactly the same as riding a horse. So you look down, you're going to end up on the fall. Look at the jump, you're going to end up in the jump. You've got to be aware of the jump. We're not saying don't be aware of the problem, but get into solution-focused energy as quickly as possible. This is honestly why I don't work as a psychotherapist anymore, even though I was at the top of my game, even though I'm a world-class psychotherapist, even though I'm an absolute expert, and I can say that, truly hands up, absolute expert in attachment, in love and relationships, because I don't believe in this sitting around analyzing, getting stuck in the problem anymore. Because what I came to realize is that too much of therapy is about staying in the problems, instead of when we shift the way that we see things and we shift it from our mind and we shift it in our body, we shift both our nervous system and move the body, we can shift into what's called a richer frequency, a richer mindset, a richer lifestyle, a richer abundant state of being, a richer vibration, which of course then gets matched by the universe, gets matched by life. Does this make sense to you? Or do you find yourself wanting to stay in the problem longer than you need to? The fastest results I've ever seen with my clients happen because of their capacity to shift from being in limitation and lack to being in abundant mindset and embodying it. You have to feel it and literally put yourself in solution mode, in flow mode, in receptivity mode, like driving your car and changing gear. And that has to be the same with our brain. When we want to have a different way of being, a different experience of living, if we want to become rich, sexy, and free, we want to live our life the best way we want to live it, and we want to have a rich, abundant experience and money, and you want to show up in your life in your full power, in your business, in your career, in your love life, in your whole experience, showing up in the full vibrance of yourself, you have to be the driver of that experience. You have to be the person who is going to be willing to change gear, to know when I'm in a problem mode, no, I need to get into a solution mode, and embody that with a sense of confidence. It's not hard, but it does take practice. It does take being self-aware. So I'm wondering how this relates to your life. How does it make you think about your way of dealing when there's a problem? And that learning to do that stop and refocus moment. That's always got to be the shift, the stop and refocus moment of going, right, which gear am I going to move to? How can I move to the solution? How can I get out of this problem? And this is a skill to use at whatever level you're at, however wealthy you are, however rich your life is. It doesn't matter whether you are earning $5 a week compared to someone who's earning $1 million a month or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's about mindset. Whether you have a limited mindset and you've been working really, really hard to make money, the money will never stay because you have a limited mindset. And if you have an abundant mindset and you're starting at what feels like rock bottom, you won't stay there for very long because you've shifted your mindset, you shift your frequency, you shift your way of being. You will come out of that very, very quickly. If you accept that the thing that has to change is your mindset, is your frequency, is the way that you're looking at it and coming into solution focused. Once again, you can go grab the free curated video playlist. Just head over to richsexyandfree.com and help you move towards being rich, sexy, and free. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I love sharing this with you and I really love hearing from you. It's been great to connect with you today. But before you leave, if you haven't already, don't forget to come and be part of the Wealthier Woman community. And if you want to find out more about how I can help you personally, or check out any of my books, products, or coaching packages, just simply go ahead and visit richsexyandfree.com. And I look forward to seeing you next week on the podcast.